Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Richard from Homework Hookup. Scroll up so you can see the brand. uh, I'm a tutor, and I help with tutoring. And I just wanted to make a video on solving quadratic equations. I've done a couple other videos on using solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. I'm not going to get into that for this one. I wanted to show another method that I was taught called the candy wrapper method. So without further ado, we'll get right into it. So let me start off here by switching colors. So the first thing we want to do is we want all the terms on one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 6 to both sides to get rid of that 6. All right. So when I do that, the 6's here cancel. I'm going to have equals 0 on the other side. I have negative 48 plus 6. That is going to be negative 42. Let me write that a lot better. Okay, negative 42. And then everything else just kind of comes down. Minus x and then x squared. Cool. All right. So this is our new equation that we're going to look at. And now we're going to implement what's called the candy wrapper. But before I do that, I want to move this over so we can really get into this. Okay, cool. That's good enough. And I'm also going to switch colors so you guys can see. Start drawing this little squiggly line like this. It starts over the x squared term, dips under the x, and then comes back over the constant, and then you're just going to draw it in reverse like this. And they call it a candy wrapper method because if you look, it literally looks like a candy wrapper. So anyway, you start off on this side right here. So this is what we're going to do. I'll use, is black okay? Let me use green. Use green. Okay, so I look at the x squared term and I say, okay, what can I multiply to get x squared, or what do we multiply to get x squared? So we know x squared is the same thing as x times x. So that's what you're gonna want to use. So it's gonna be x here and then x here. Cool. All right. I am going to use a different color for this. Let's try. This is lavender. Try this right here. Next time, or the next term we look at is this negative 42. So now, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I need to think about all the ways that we can multiply to get negative 42. So I have negative 42 right here. I know to get 42, I can do 7 times 6, right? And which one we use as far as just, a matter of flipping the negative. So I could do 7 times a positive 6, or I can do negative 7 times a positive 6, or a positive 7 times a negative 6. To get 42. I could also do 21 times 2, right? And then again, just flipping the negative. I think 42 is also 3 times 14. Yeah, 3 times 14. So I can do 3 times 14. And again, it's flipping the negative, right? And you could also do 42 times 1. But we won't do that in this case, but you could. So anyway, so these are all the ways we can multiply. Well, not all of them, but these are most of the ways we can multiply to get negative 42, right? So the whole goal is this: is we want to pick a pair that not only multiplies to this number, but when you add them together, you get the number out here. So the number right here is a negative 1. So let's think about that. So let's start off with the first person, or the first group. So the first group is negative 7 times 6. So negative 7 times 6 is obviously going to give us 42. And then we add them together. We can do that right here. Negative 7 plus 6. Guess what we get? We get negative 1. So we kind of lucked out. It's the first one. But if it wasn't the first one, let's say it didn't add up to negative 1, then you would just keep going down the list until you found the one that matched. So for our particular case, it was the one that was out front. So it ended up being this guy. So what you're gonna do is, since we know that negative 6 and negative 7 and negative 6, I'm sorry. Since we know that negative 7 times 6 is 42, and then when you add them together, you get negative 1. This is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna put the negative 7 here. The winner, you can kind of consider it as the winner can go here, and then this actually tells us our two terms. So our answer is literally just going to be this. So watch this. Positive 6. So we get x minus 7. X minus 7, and then x plus 6. The whole thing equal to 0. X minus 7 equals 0. And then we're going to have x plus 6 equals 0. Cool. And then you just solve for x. So for this guy, we're just going to add 7 on both sides. And we're going to get x is equal to 7. And then for this guy, same thing. We're going to subtract 6 on both sides. 6 is canceled here, so we get x equals negative 6. So your two answers are actually going to be x equals 7 and x equals 6. Sorry about the confusion. So just really quick, candy wrapper method. You start off here. You say, okay, what did I do to get x squared? And we found out that x squared, you get x times x. You look at this guy right here on this side, and you say, okay, I need all the ways to multiply to negative 42. And you list them out. And then this final part is you see which one of these ways, when you add the two numbers together, gets you the number out front of x. So in this case, it was negative 7 plus 6. So that is how you do it. That is how you use the candy wrapper method. I hope it's, it was helpful. Hope some of you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you don't like this method or if you think it's too complicated, you can always use the quadratic formula to help you get the answer. But I like this for simpler cases. Yeah, that's it for this video. My name is Richard. If you're interested in tutoring, the name of my company is Homework Hookup. I tutor online, based out of California, and you can reach me at my website, homeworkhookup.xyz. I also have an Instagram and Facebook that I'll be putting down below in the comment section, so please check it out if you're interested. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and yeah, hope this was a good video for you. Thanks.